World, Florida. Dr. Narco Longo. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Magic. Welcome to Florida, baby. Florida is the original Garden of Eden. Florida has the highest concentration of freshwater springs in the world. Florida oranges are the golden apples of mythology. A race of giant men once roamed this peninsula. The Smithsonian can suck my balls. Old World, Florida.
Hello. Hello.
Yo, yo.
Wow. Jeez, that was loud. What was
From
that?
my end?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So what's up, y'all? Let us know if we're sounding good and looking good. Give us some thumbs up in the chat if we sound good. Say what's up, Merlin.
Mic check, mic check. What's up? What's up?
Mic check. So what's up, guys? Happy Saturday. I'm coming to you live from the Dancing Elephant Bookstore in Lake Worth Beach. And yeah, we're continuing our Casting Couch Astrology podcast. This is number 5 or 6 or something, I forget. But yeah, not going to go back through them all, but some good stuff in the first 4 episodes or so. And basically, this is astrology for the dudes, for the ladies, for everyone, but by the dudes especially. And we're trying to bring some testosterone to astrology. And we are trying to demystify, destigmatize astrology. And we're going through the basics, but we're also delivering some hard-hitting, deep niche wisdom. Okay, you're not going to get anywhere else. So that's what you're getting with us. You're getting introductory, but also things you won't get anywhere else. So without further ado, tonight we're going to talk about the planets and the gods of world mythology. And Merlin, hate to be a bother, but catching a lot of like white noise or
Oh,
kind
let
of
me turn down the mic, maybe. Give me 1
air,
second.
air conditioning noise, I think. But here you guys here. Well, Merlin, I'll let you say what's up tonight, real quick.
Yeah, cool. So we're going to talk mythology, and it's just important because these mythologies that occur and reoccur throughout every culture. There's clearly something going on there, and mythologies are how really important information gets transferred and encoded, and it's up to you, the individual, to decode it, right? This channel is largely about occult knowledge, and you guys know the word occult means hidden. So we're looking at hidden knowledge. This stuff isn't right in front of you, but it's there for you to find if you want to find it. So yeah, I mean, tonight's gonna be a banger. We're gonna look at all these different similarities between these cultures and show how it's they're all saying the same thing, and it's all the study of the heavens, God's glorious creation. Is the mic still sounding okay for you, Longo?
Yeah, you sound great. You
Okay,
sound great
right on.
now. Someone said I was wearing the Jordan Maxwell suit. That blew my mind.
Dude, that is actually a very Jordan Maxwell-esque. That's pretty spot
Totally.
on.
I totally forgot he beat me to the Miami Vice. Look, Jordan Maxwell is also a Floridian. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yep. So, okay. So, guys, planets and the gods of astrology here. Let me put us where we normally sit. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. Just give me a sec here to catch my breath. Like just closed the bookstore. Forgive me when I'm late, guys, and the music helps a little bit, but the bookstore closes at 9, and today we closed at like 9:03. Like I was busy right up until the very end. So thank you for being patient, and we're ready to go. Planets and the gods of world mythology. So I'll tell you. Let's start off with this. What got me hooked on astrology? It was oh, you're going to have 5 kids and one of them's going to be missing a toenail. And, it's not fortune telling. It's not that BS. It's not the girlfriend breakup story, ooh, watch out for him. He's a Leo and you're a Virgo and whatever. What hooked me was astrotheology. Astrotheology. Hey, my buddy, Diablo, can you stop spamming? Quit spamming, bro. Thanks. We all saw that. Appreciate your message, but you're spamming too much space. So, what got me hooked on astrology was astrotheology. Shout out to Jordan Maxwell. He talks about it a little bit, but especially people like Bill Donahue, Santos Bonacci. I mean, they're like the king. Santos was my favorite astro teacher, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, still today. Basically, astrology is the mother of all sciences, religions, and mythologies. Here, let me throw the chat up on screen too. You guys are going schizo. We got 200 people in the chat. Thanks to all you for being here. Let's do this. Let's do a call out before we go any further. Who we got up in here? Who fucks with Santos Bonacci? Show of Italian flags if you fucks with Santos Bonacci. And let's say a show of fish for Florida, because there's no Florida flag emoji. If you fucks with
Jordan Maxwell.
yeah, and I think Bill Cooper also lived in Florida briefly. But I think Jordan Maxwell is from there. But Santos Bonacci is my fave. Bill Donahue, what was he? He was like...
He's up in the Northeast, I think.
Yeah, something. But shout out to them too. If you guys don't know them, go check them out. They do a really good job. But thanks for throwing down the Italian flags in the chat. And some fish. Hell yeah, Bill Donahue, respect. And show some oranges. Show some tangerines if you want us to shout you out. Merlin, feel free to shout people out too.
I'll keep an eye out.
We got Gonzo the Goner here. Good to see you. Let's see an orange wave. Throw some orange in the chat if you want us to say what's up. Got Crispy Skates. Good to see you here. Mar, of course. Good to see you. CJ Trickstar is just typing orange. Centennial Skater.
My Cherie.
Uh-oh, they're coming too fast now. Watch out.
Starfish.
Mother Panda, your confused mom. That's a new username, I think. Puzzle Cup. Good to see you. Centennial Skater. Crouton Soggy, what's up?
Caveman Juice.
Thor at the door, of course. My boy.
Paul is a regular.
That's another Steve, by the way.
Yeah.
Surffish. Tiberius, what's up? Gypsy Soul Surfer. I think she came into the bookstore a couple days ago. Sarah and Arnold just came into the bookstore right before I hopped off. They were here up till 9 o'clock, hanging out. 30-second golf lessons. What's up?
Rick James.
IOF Horace. Good to see you. No shrimps in the chat. Nah, kill that noise. Boot him. Mods, ban him. Banned for life. Permabanned. Arc Boy with the 33. Just kidding. Don't ban anyone. Caveman Juice. What's up?
Jeremiah Brown.
Jeremiah Brown. Good to see you. Top Flight Security, Craig. Paula. Bazak. All right, we got a lot. Jacob Delmonico. Carolyn. All right, guys. That's it. Early bird gets the worm. We're not everyone gets the shout out. Last time we went like almost an hour over. But so okay. Let's get back into it. Astrotheology is what's super cool and what got me hooked on astrology. I'd say it's like the more masculine side of astrology. If you're worried about astrology being like divination, or fortune telling, all right, don't touch the birth chart and any of that stuff. You know, don't worry about your transits or what's going on day to day. That's fine. That's completely fine. And by the way, we're going to have another episode for anyone worried about whether Christians can touch astrology a little bit or study it or dive deeply into it. We're going to have a whole stream on that. And if that's holding you back, I really hope it isn't. But I love astrology. I love the Bible. I consider myself a Christian. Some people maybe wouldn't, but I love astrology. Astrology's in the Bible. We've talked about that a little bit on this stream. But regardless, if you don't want to get into all the personality crap and the fortune telling or what might happen in your future, then just study the astrotheology. And actually, like movies Zeitgeist that try to attack, not really attack, but try to like debunk or kind of
Demystify, really.
undermine or kind of, you know, Zeitgeist is a documentary that pretty much makes the argument or kind of lets you put together for yourself that astrology Christianity is like a copycat religion, that it's like copying the astrotheological framework of every other religion. That's false. To me, astrology proves the opposite. Astrology, it supports the Bible. It's great evidence for the Bible. It's in the Bible, of course, itself. But astrology validates everything and piles the evidence high in favor of the Bible, in favor of Jesus's divinity, in favor of all this. So to me, it only builds the credibility. Blah, blah, blah. The coolest part of astrology is the astrotheology. And the astrotheology, I'd say, is maybe the more masculine half, right? It's like history versus her story, right? Men like the history, men like the gods and the war and, the greatness and the grandness and stuff like that. So basically, the planets, and here's another good one. If you're a Christian, astrology is how we undermine paganism, because all the lowercase g gods of paganism are the planets of astrology. That's all they are. Your Zeus, your Thor, your this and that, all across the world, the lowercase g gods are the planets of astrology, the wandering stars, the luminaries. That's it, folks. Sorry, pagans. That's what I put the description of this video as. Sorry, pagans. The gods are just the planets. And that might be a good place to start off. But before we get deep into it, Steve, sorry. Scratch that. We got a caller in named Steven. Bye, Steven. Sorry, I can't take your call right now. Merlin, what do you think about the gods? What should people know starting off, and kind of like how'd you get into this? I'm sure astrotheology is like a big passion of yours. I know it.
Yeah, same as you. Through Santos, through Bill Donahue, through Jordan Maxwell, and then really just studying astrology myself. I'm lucky that I got into astrology not through modern astrology, but I started that with all like the classic medieval books. Firmicus Maternus, Marcus Manilius, Bonatti, um, William Lilly, all the greats, I think, of medieval and even Roman and Hellenistic astrology. And that shit is way more masculine than modern astrology. It's not even close, guys. And every good astrologer in their introductions, and guys, read the introductions, they're so beautiful. They always give reverence and praise to God. Like literally, you go through a good introduction and you're gonna see the first thing you must do as a good astrologer is you must give praise and reverence to God, not the gods, but God, the creator. Because when you understand this stuff and you start learning the patterns, God's intelligent design is so evident and obvious in the heavens. It is the most beautiful. It is the science. The word science means knowledge. This is primo knowledge. It's just the best. There's nothing better than studying the heavens. I've found nothing in my life anywhere nearly as rewarding as studying the heavens. So that's my thoughts on astrology. It's just the shit, bro.
Totally. So guys, let's just get into it. Let's learn about the planets a little bit and how they really are the gods of world mythology, the gods of paganism, lowercase g gods. And God, uppercase G, is the one good God in heaven. All this other stuff is creation. So this is this is kind of like a flotation device that we can maybe kind of save some of the pagans and atheists maybe with. The issue with paganism and the mythologies, and maybe how astrology can be misused in any practice. You don't want to worship the creation. The issue with paganism is that they stop with the planets. They stop with these lesser deities. They pay no attention or no honor to the supreme deity, or they, relegate that to some other deity and say, oh, no, 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 no. No other pantheons capture the everythingness and the authorship of the one good God in heaven. So that's where most astrologers go wrong. Maybe they're too caught up with the planets. They don't look past that. We here try to point to what the one good God in heaven behind astrology. Astrology is just one of God's many sciences. I'd argue it's the mother of all sciences, but so glory to God. We don't put our faith or our prayers in any of these planets, okay? But it would benefit you to know how to harmonize with certain rhythms of the seasons and the week. And, the planets rule that stuff. And why is Mars March? Why is March Mars? And why is, wouldn't you like to be at least literate in all this stuff? You don't have to place all your belief and all that, but people should know, where do the days of the week come from? Where do the months come from and all that? Blah, blah, blah. What are the planets? Why are they connected to the gods? So starting off, our planets are named after the gods. Us today, here in the modern Western world, speaking English, we still today call the planets by their corresponding gods, the lowercase g. We use the Roman pantheon, with one exception, maybe a couple exceptions if you're poking around the whole solar system. But if you're looking at the 7 major planets of astrology and maybe the 3 extra planets, semi to non-visible planets, so Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, crossing over from the visible to the non-visible, then we have Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Okay. Well, guess what? All of those are names of Roman gods, except for one. So watch out for that one. It's Uranus, by the way. And let's go through them. I don't know if you've got anything that corresponds to the Roman gods.
It's separate now.
All right. Let's hit it.
Days of the week and the gods.
So starting off with Monday. Moon, right? In the Roman pantheon, well, let's put the days of the week to the side because they're kind of mixed, Latin and Germanic names. But just focusing on the gods real quick, you have the moon, right?
Yeah, it's Luna. It's up. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you have
Okay.
Luna.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And just going in order from bottom to top.
Okay, good. Thank you. You have Luna, Mercury. You have Venus, Sol, which is the sun, right? Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So moon, we say moon, mon, that's kind of a Germanic thing. But if you speak Spanish, Luna. Lunes. That is the moon goddess, the Roman moon goddess. Mercury is, of course, the god, Roman god, who goes in between the gods and man, right? Venus, goddess of love, beauty, Roman goddess. The sun, Sol, right? Sol Invictus. Sun, more of a Germanic name, sun and the moon. But Sol, like solar, the soul, all that. Mars, god of war. Okay, notice that. So these gods, what they rule, they're going to be pretty consistent through all the pantheons. Not totally consistent. You'll see some curveballs in almost every pantheon. But for Mars, Martes, of course, in Spanish. Then we get Jupiter, also known as Jove, right?
Yep.
Then you have Saturn. There's the 7 visible planets. And by the way, Jupiter's the god of abundance, right? Fortune, the jackpot. Saturn's the god of time, constriction, punishment, death, judgment, all that. But those are the 7 visible planets. What's the curveball here? Uranus. Uranus is the Greek name for that god planet. Uranus is unnamed, or we don't have the Roman name for it. Why'd they go back to the Greek? Well, I don't know, but we can find a clue by looking at January. Uranus is probably Janus, because Uranus is associated with Aquarius, ruling Aquarius, co-ruler with Saturn. And then Aquarius starts in January. So January is Janus, the month of Janus, and it marks the beginning of Aquarius. So that's pretty concrete evidence for Janus being Uranus, right? And you can see the etymological link there. Uranus, Janus. Spanish, a lot of people say their Y is like a J. Janus, right? You see how that can easily morph from Uranus to Janus. So pretty case closed. There is another god called Caelus, who's maybe a Roman sky god, who might have been a substitute, or there might have been a change up of the identity of the sky god, and that's why Janus might have gotten tossed to the side. But Uranus is a Greek god, Oranos. I don't know if they maybe the solar system with the big gay gangbang and the solar system, they just chose the gayest planet name they could, Uranus, but Oranos is a Greek god. So what does this one little kind of mistake or exception tell us? It tells us that there's an equivalency. There's a correspondence between the principal deities of every world religion, or pantheon, whatever you want to call them, mythology, and the 7 visible planets, and perhaps the 3 semi or non-visible planets. So the 7 to 10 principal deities of any mythology should correspond to those planets. And so that's what we're going to go down the list of tonight. We're going to go Roman, Greek, Egyptian, Finnish, Norse, Germanic, Celtic. We'll see how many we get through, but we're already a half hour in. So, boom. Let's go down the planets. Anything you want to say?
Yeah,
Merle?
so you can say even like you were talking about the connection between Uranus and Janus, and you guys can see here the day for Thursday is Dies Iovis, and like a lot of times in ancient languages, guys, in older languages, J and I are interchangeable. If you read an authentic King James Bible, you will see the J in Jesus becomes an I. For the same thing for Jews in the Bible, it's Jus. It's all J to I is very, very interchangeable. And you can see even the shape of the letters, it's got the dot and then the either a curved line or just a straight line. They're very, very similar. And that's why there's a lot of soft J's in Spanish and Latin languages. So, and then also
Yeah.
when it comes to Jupiter, real quick, guys, we just came off of a Jupiter holiday. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. And why is it the fourth Thursday of November? Because the earliest day that could be, if the 1st of November was a Thursday, then the fourth Thursday is November 22nd. And that's always the first day of Sagittarius. That's why Thanksgiving is the feast of Jupiter. And
Yeah.
like Longo was saying, Jupiter is all about expansion. If you think of like a god with a cornucopia, that's Jupiter. That's him with the feast, feasting, be merry by the hearth, by the fire. It's a very Sagittarian, very Jupiterian holiday we just came off of.
Yeah.
So,
Man, we're gonna have to do a holiday stream next year. We missed a good one there, but like Merlin said, Thanksgiving is the quintessential Sagittarius holiday. So Halloween is the quintessential Scorpio holiday. It ushers in Scorpio. Give it a week to kind of warm up, and then boom, you're full into Scorpio. October 30th or 31st, whatever. Boom, you're in it. Sex, death, dungeons, darkness, all of it. The candy, totally giving into your vices and all that. That is Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Sagittarius, our holiday, our welcoming festival is Thanksgiving. What does Sagittarius rule? Abundance. And Jupiter, right through Sagittarius. Abundance, travel, wisdom/conspiracy theories. Okay. What is Thanksgiving known for?
yeah.
Travel, abundance, stuffing your face, and conspiracy theories. Pretty interesting. So that's the Sagittarius holiday. Like Merlin said, always on a Thursday. That's Thor's day. So let's go down the days of the week real quick. Monday's Moon Day, right? And Luna, if you speak Spanish, this is Lunes, Luna Day. Luna, also, thanks for putting Diana in there too. These are two potential lunar goddesses. But Luna, of course, is, overwhelmingly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Luna is, you want to say anything about Luna, Merlin?
Not just the very, very obvious lunar god, and then there we see,
Yeah.
Monday is Dies Lunae in Latin. These are all Latin days of the week for the Roman pantheon here.
Yeah. Mercury is the god of information, knowledge, learning, communication, sending messages, right? Mergers, the two things coming together, right? You see that? Merge, right? Merchandise, merchant, all that. Commerce, Mercury. So that's Mercury. You go to Venus, love, beauty, like we said before. Also vanity, right? You get vanity from Venus, right? Vain, like, Venus. And you're going to see that through many of the different pantheons. So, okay, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Most people know what these gods rule, but Mars is the god of war, of course, competition, discipline, things like that. Jupiter, king of the gods. King of the gods, right? And abundance, fortune, like we said. Saturn, Satan, the bad guy, kind of. Time. Yeah. Well, okay. So here we're talking about Uranus. Let's cross over to the Greek pantheon and show people how these correspond.
Sure thing. And real quick, someone in chat asked a good question. They said, what order is this list in? You're going to see every slide today, guys. It's in the order of Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And that's just the planets astrologically and in reality from Earth to the outermost orbs of heaven, the outermost spheres of heaven. So,
yeah. So we're at the Greek.
yeah, this is the Greek
So-
pantheon right here.
We get Luna. And remember, the Greek is more ancient than the Roman. Okay. Bach Saga might not agree with that, but the Greek is more ancient. So the Romans took inspiration from the Greek. From the Greek, we get Luna from Selene. Selena, Lena, Luna, right? That's a direct kind of evolution there.
Just changing the vowels. And those are very interchangeable.
Yep. Here, I'll put us to the side over here. Now, Mercury comes from Hermes. So from Mercury, we get Hermes inspired Mercury, at least a little bit. You see the
100%.
Right? A little bit of kind of anagramming going on there. Merc. Hermes, we get words like hermit, hermetic, right? Hermano, brother, So Hermes, another messenger god, another in between, right? Both are pretty quick, nimble, fast, right? And they're concerned with either education or communication at the very least. And Hermes is the same thing, attached to the same planet. So the planets are beacons in the sky for each of these deities, if you want to call them that. Venus used to be known as Aphrodite. So the Greek name is Aphrodite. And what's funny is, remember, Venus, vain, vanity. Well, from Aphrodite, we get words like aphrodisiac, right? Aphrodisiac.
Yeah, Venus rules erotic love.
Yeah. Seduction.
Yeah.
Now, Aphrodite, this is where we're going to get our next crossover, is going to be by kind of talking about the days of the week. The Germanic pantheon is what's next. But the sun, right? Remember, sun is Germanic, but Helios was Apollo. Helios is the Roman. Apollo is the Greek. Apollo is the Greek. And Mars, here's a good one. This one's good for astrologers. Mars used to be known as Aries by the Greeks. Well, guess what? The first sign of the zodiac is Aries, who's ruled by Mars. So that makes perfect sense. Jupiter, of course, used to be known as Zeus or Dios. Zeus, Zeus, Dios, Deus. And that's a pretty old word too. But Zeus is also the king of the gods, right? The Olympians, whatever you want to call them, the Council of 12, right? So Jupiter and Zeus have a lot in common, of course. They're both kind of storm gods. They're either associated with storm or electricity. Thunderbolts, right? They both have the thunderbolts. And yeah, Jupiter and Zeus. That's pretty apparent, right? And these aren't a big shocker. Everyone knows this, but we're starting with the easy ones, the easy parallels, so you guys can see. You can take this schematic and kind of like, move it across different pantheons and make sense of them. It's kind of like understanding, how would you say it? It's like understanding conjugations and suffixes and prefixes and going from language to language and just kind of like cheat coding, the language, like Santos Bonacci can
Yep.
teach you to do something like that. So Thursday, right, coming from Thor, that's another Germanic one. But let's hang on. We'll get to that. Saturn used to be known as Kronos by the oh, well, here, let's go back to Zeus. Let's go back to Zeus real quick, okay? Jupiter, we get a lot of words like Jew, Peter, right? But Zeus, people don't know about Zeus words too much. All those Dio words, Dios words, right? Teo, Theo, all those can be associated with Zeus. So theocratic, theological, all that theo, dio, meaning God, goes back to Zeus. Also, words that start with su, like success, succeed, okay? To sue for peace, sue for money, right? A lot of times having to do with abundance or the swelling of assets, right? Like the acquiring of assets. So su words, theo, dio words, a lot of these coming out of Zeus. So pay attention to those. And when we get to some other pantheons, you'll see how many words come out of all this. Saturn came out of Kronos, used to be known as Kronos. So in Saturn, we get words like sad, sat, earn, right? Satire, sad, like you're sad. Sitting around, you sat around all day. Earning your work, slaving, or you die and you're cremated and put in an urn, right? All these sad, end of a cycle terms. Chronos, you get the same thing. Chronological, chronic. It means time. Saturn's the god of time and space. So Chronos is chronological. Chronos is chronic. Right? And from crow, we also get words like crook, criminal, crazy. Not good. Under the influence of Saturn or Chronos. Right? A crony, right? You're a henchman, mindless slave. Right? Chronos. A lot more to be said. Now, those are the 7 major planets. Let's go through the days of the week, and now we're going to get our entree into the Germanic pantheon. So Sun, right off the bat, that's not really a Greek or Roman name. Sun is, let's go, do you have Germanic?
Yeah, right
Boom.
there.
Perfect. So Germanic pantheon is where we get about half of the English words for the days of the week. Sun, that's also just the sun in the sky. And moon. Sun comes from zun or zona, sun, however you want to say it. And then moon comes from either Mon or Mani, right there, who's a goddess. But many, right? Many, I love this. The moon multiplies. How many times do we say that in our lessons? Sorry, we got a fucking biker gang going by. I don't know if you can hear that, but
It wasn't too bad.
the moon multiplies. The moon makes one into many. Many multiplies. Cell division. The crab having the most children of any animal, or close to it. millions of kids for one animal. That's many, many, Mani. Mani is the name of a moon goddess. Could we pull her up on Wikipedia?
Sure thing.
Yeah, actually, you keep that up since you've
Okay.
got that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
look it up.
All right. So while you're doing that, yeah, like guys, the women's menstrual cycle or moonstrual cycle is obviously ruled by the moon. The lunar cycle is 28 days around the zodiac, or 29.5 days new moon to new moon. And that's how women manifest or moonifest new souls into this realm. So it's literally all through the moon, this multiplication that Longo was talking about.
Yeah, Manifest. Mani is another way to say moon, moon goddess. So that's where we get moon, moon day, money. Even the moon rules money, Mani,
Want more of it.
mana. Right? I mean, goes on and on and on. So that is your moon goddess, where we get Monday from, and the word moon in general. Now, moving on, you have the sun, right? Here, let's do this.
The name I got was Sontag for the sun.
Soul.
Soul, there we go.
Sun or sunna, zun, however you want to say it, suno. There is your sun god. Solar, when you're saying solar, you're talking about soul. Saying sunny, sun. All right, back to Merlin's stuff. Now, sun day, moon day. All right, we got those down. Then what? Tuesday. Tuesday, again, not a Roman god. It's Tyr, also known as two, Tyre, Tyr, two, however you want to say it. And so from Tyre, we got Tuesday. Tuesday. From Tyre, we get words like tirade, tyrant,
Tyrannical.
tyrannical. Yeah, tired. You're all worn out. You've been exercising, being martial
Yep.
all day. You're tired. Or, the tires on your car doing all the moving, pushing, the burning, right? The tires. So from Tyr, we get all these hot words, fast words, fight words, mean words, tire, tear, right? And, even tears you can throw there, put that in, or tearing something, right? Violent. So that's all Tyr. And from Mars, we get martial arts, blah, blah, blah. Let's go look at Tyr real quick. Tyr is a god of war. And he's missing a right hand, missing a hand. So he's got one hand. That's going to come up with some of his equivalent gods. Oh, you guys aren't seeing what
Not yet.
I'm seeing. Here's Tyr. He's got one arm or one hand. Yep. Here I'm gonna throw a little music on. One sec.
Yeah, and guys, all these different cultures reach these similar conclusions about, Mars being the god of war. That's in every mythology. Do you think that's an accident? There's no chance.
Yeah. Oh, the greatest proof for that is if you go all around the world, like to China, they have the same 7 days of the week that they were tracking independently long before they ever heard of the Bible or this or that. They had 7 days of the week, and each planet had a day of the week. Sun, moon, and then the 5 wandering stars. Same thing. They called them, the metal planet, the water planet, this and that. It's just the same planets. So from Tyr, we get Tuesday. So now we're on the Germanic pantheon. Okay. And we can go back to your list. We could also do the Egyptian next, but the
I didn't
Germanic.
get that slide. Sorry.
That's all right. I got lists.
Cool.
I got lists on lists.
Nice.
I was making these lists long before I ever made my YouTube channel. All these like astro schizo correspondences. So the Germanic gods, we got Mond, Mano, Mani, already talked about her. And Tyr, so we're at Tuesday. That's
Odin.
Tyr. Now, next is Wednesday. Wednesday would be Wotansday or Wednesday. Wedden. Wotan. This is Odin. Now, people aren't going to like to hear this. Wednesday is Odin. Odin is Mercury. I already know there's going to be a 1,000 million crying neo-pagans in the chat saying, Odin is the supreme deity and Woden is this and that. You know, guys, the seasons are all different up in the north. Some gods go, you know, take a back, you know, kind of, you know, go kind of a backseat role. Some other planets come up to the forefront. Odin is just Mercury. Why the Vikings and all them put such a big emphasis on Odin? I've got some theories. There are theories out there, but that's not what we're talking about right now. The fact of the matter is Odin is Mercury. Odin, you get words like ode. From ode, you owed me money. That's commerce, baby. That's Mercury. You're owed something. If I want to make an ode to a person who fell in combat or an ode to my favorite flower, that's a piece of writing or a song or a, you know, creative piece of writing, a poem. That's ode. You know, ode to Viceroy, ode to this, ode to Coca-Cola. Okay? My favorite song. Ode to, you know, it's in honor of something, and it's poetry.
Yep.
That's Mercury. From Odin, we also get words like audio, education. From Odie and Eddie, we get audio, education. The din, what's the din? Din is the din of arms, hearing all the swords clink and, you know, shing, shing, clang, clang, ding. That's the din of arms. The noise. That is the audio. That's Odin. That is, boom, that's Mercury, guys. So Odin represents a lot. Yeah, odor. I don't know how we can work odor in there, but maybe Mercury rules all the senses. Who knows? What do you think, Merlin?
Well, yeah, now Wednesday is ruled by Mercury, and like think about that, right? On Tuesday you have Mars, on Thursday you got Jupiter. So Mercury is neither a benefic nor malefic planet. It's neither male nor female, so it's literally in the middle of the week. Like, okay, do I go good or do I go bad? Do I go male? Do I go female? It's like very much in the middle. And like all of these different languages, you'll see, guys, in German, it used to be Wodensdag, but in modern German, it's Mittwoch, middle of the week. And same thing for Finnish and Norse. You'll see like they kind of switched up their days of the week from planets to just different, like either numbered days or like a midday for Wednesday. And that's the same in like 3 or 4 different languages. So, and even like that goes back to Mercury being in the middle, either or. It's very mutable. It's the most mutable planet there is. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Saturn is the timekeeper. Guys, here's some deeper astrological gravy that this you will not hear from any other astrologer. I guarantee, maybe I don't guarantee it, but probably not. Saturn just finished retrogressing, as did Mercury. Mercury finished retrogressing like moments ago. So both those planets are done retrogressing. Saturn, every time Saturn goes back 7 degrees exactly. And Saturn is the 7th planet. in Hebrew, Saturn was called Shabo, which means 7. So it's the most meticulous, and that's why it was the timekeeper, because it's so meticulous with its retrogressions and with its movements. That Saturn is incredible studying those patterns. So I'll land that there.
Yeah, good info right there. Real quick, let's shout out some super chats. Sarah Bisnet, she and her lovely companion, boyfriend, husband, I forget. Sorry. Arnold just came into the bookstore. Great people. Really appreciated them coming in. It was a good conversation. Thank you, Sarah, for the support. LA Go Forth just became a YouTube member, and Sarah became a member. Thank you, guys. Rob T-R2D, $2. Creamed my pants watching the intro. I think this is the Rob who connected me with the what's his name? Eric Arval of the Return to the Land movement. I had a good conversation with him. And so I think that's the Rob who put us in touch. If so, thank you, Rob.
Oh, nice.
And
You talked to the Return of the Land guys?
I talked to Eric,
Nice.
I think Arval is his name. A. Yeah. Arval, yeah. RTTL. Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, they got brought up a few streams ago. I remember that.
We're on the German pantheon part right now, I guess. That might be relevant to them, maybe not. But yeah, I had a good chat with him. He's a smart guy. He's scary sharp, smart, well read. But it's good being younger than people. There's always an excuse to not be as super smart as them. But yeah, he's a smart cookie. And thank you, Rob. All right. Saturn. We talked about where we stopped at Odin. Okay, we stopped at Odin. Venus. Venus is the Roman. We talked about Aphrodite. Now watch this. From Aphrodite, we have a nice smooth link to Freya or Frigg. Aphrodite. You see that phonetic link? That's strong. Fruit. Fragile. Fresh. You see, this is very Venusian, right?
Freaky.
Free. Freaky. Free. Thank you, yeah.
Being free, open, and loose.
Yeah. So that is Freya. And we get Friday, which is Venus, Viernes. Freya is Friday. So, people say the names of the days of the week every single day, and they never bat an eye. They never stop to think. Look how entrenched we are, immersed in the astrology and the mythology, and people take it for granted. Now, that is Freya. Freya, let's go look at her real quick.
And you can see, guys, like, that's why the weekend feels so good. When Thursday rolls around, ruled by Jupiter, the greater benefic, it rolls right into Friday, ruled by Venus, the lesser benefic. That's one benefic after another. It feels so good, Thursday and Friday. It's beautiful.
And you feel free. You're let out. You're free on Friday. Okay? That's Freya. Freya means the lady, goddess associated with love, beauty, fertility, sex, war, gold, magic. Yeah. That's Freyja. Freyja, Frigg. But now going back. Whoops, didn't mean to drop Merlin there. Then we go to Mars. We talked about Mars. Tyr, Tuesday. Jupiter. Here we go. Jupiter is Thor. Thor. From Thor, we get Thursday. Now, what are some other Thor words? Okay. We talked about Zeus, right? From Thor, we get thorough. Right? Thoroughbred. Thorough. What other words? Through. Throw. Thankful. Thoughtful.
Really, that's what it is.
What
Like
other?
thankful, because guys, like when they say the gods, they did think of Jupiter as being most associated with God because Jupiter is so benefic. So that's why there's so much reverence for Zeus or Thor in particular in the Greek or German traditions, because he's the most benefic, and we know that God is ultimately benefic. So Jupiter is his spirit, one of his spirits. It's very representative of God, and that's why there's such a big mix-up between Jupiter and God in ancient traditions.
Yeah, also some Thor words, Th and Th would kind of get blurred a little bit, especially with the runes. That's a good one. Someone said fortune is like Thor's chin. Fortune, Thorchin. Authority. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
There you go.
We're trying to start the words, but author, authority. That is Thor. Thank you. Someone said Thorskin. This guy's funny. Thorskin. Thorn. Now that might seem like it has nothing to do with Jupiter, but Jesus, who's also connected with Jupiter, had a crown of thorns around his third eye. Crown of thorns goes around the third eye, around the band of, the head, the forehead or the Thor head. The crown of Kronos goes on the tippy top of the head, the crown of the head, the yarmulke part. So the thorn crown goes around the third eye. That's interesting.
Jupiter rules hunting, and Sagittarius is the archer, and they shoot thorns basically, and as their arrows, they're shooting thorns essentially, either to hunt,
Yeah. Thrust. That's a good one. That's a good one too.
All in the hips.
But okay, so now people were saying thoughtful, right? And I said thoughtful. Yes and no, because when we get to thought, we're gonna get to Thoth. So wait till we get to the Egyptian pantheon in a sec. We'll talk about Thoth and Thoth. Same thing with Odin. You see that root, Od, Odd, Thoth, Thoth, right? Thoth, thought, Odin, Thothan, right? Bend it just a little bit. So from Thor, we get words like thorough, authority. Those are the big ones. And Thursday, from Saturn, right? Who's Saturn? Now, it's interesting. You left Saturn out. Not many people know who Saturn is. Did you?
No, it's there.
Well, the god of Saturn is Loki. It's Loki. And I guess that's more of the Norse pantheon. But yeah, they would usually fill in Saturn with their own version of Saturn. But in some of the Celts, they do the same thing too. So yeah, sometimes, it's good to leave the worst planet, like the planet of your enemy, right? Just use your enemy's name for that planet. Might be the reasoning there. But so from Germanic, let's go right next door to the Norse pantheon. Now you've got the Norse pantheon too. Perfect.
Yeah, and it's very similar to
Yep.
what I found for the German.
And it should be.
Yeah.
Very similar. Mani the same. Odin the same.
I got them literally all the same. I didn't get Loki
Freya,
in there.
Frigg. Well, that's where we go. And you can see kind of the inspiration or the connection with Loki at the bottom. Bath Day. Loker dog, however you say this. Lauker dog, however you say it. That would be Loki's day. Saturn is Loki. So I guess that's the only one we really got to talk about. Is most of them are the same, the Norse, the Germanic. I do have the Germanic ones: Mond, Wotan, Friggo, Sunna, Tyr, Donner. That's what we should have said for Germanic. It's not Thor, it's Donner. That's the real Germanic Thor. So in Germany, they say Donnerstag for Thursday. Donnerstag for Thursday, not Thor's Day. And then for Saturn, here's a good one. Oh, man, I should have been looking at my list. Sorry.
You're good.
Anglo-Saxon, Crodo. Here, let's go over here. Oh. Crodo, Germanic god of the Saxons. Crowd, crud, crumb, crummy. Right? Not so nice words. Crodo. So Germanic / Anglo gods: Mani, Woden, Frigg or Fridge, Sunna, Tyr, and Donner or Thunor. Donner. So Germanic, Anglo-Saxon, and going back to the Norse, instead of Crodo or Crado for Saturn, which is interesting because isn't that interesting how in Germanic they're actually going back to seems they're closer to the Greek with Crado, Kronos, Chrono, Crado. Well, in Norse, Saturn is Loki. Now, some people out there try and say Loki is Mercury. No. Okay. Loki is Saturn. I can prove it to you. The phonetics is what proves it. Loki, let's go have a look at him.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would make that argument that Loki was more mercurial, honestly. Like that,
Okay.
he's like I would say he's a more, because if Mercury can be either benefic or malefic. I'd say he's a malefic Mercury, whereas Odin is the benefic Mercury. And that's like talking about astrology. Like if you have a birth chart, right? If you have a badly placed Mercury, that's terrible. There are a few things worse than a badly placed Mercury, and that's very malefic. Whereas if you have a good Mercury, that is incredibly good. So that's the Odin, and I'd say that Loki is the malefic Mercury, the trickster, the duplicitous one. And I would say that just mythologically too, because he's the son of Odin, and then also Loki is an opposition to Thor, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter and Mercury, their signs literally oppose one another, and they rule all the mutable signs together. So I would give it that argument personally.
Yeah. Hey, you're not alone. A lot of people say Loki because it's kind of trickstery, has a little bit of a mercurial nature to him. There's a good case to be made. Now I'll tell you why I think it's lock and key Saturn.
All right.
I think it's overwhelming. Loki is the Norse Saturn, in my view, because we get words like lock and key. That's as Saturnian as it gets. Lock and key, imprisonment, constriction. Also, the low key. If you're trying to keep something low key, you're moving in silence, right? You're being patient about it. That is very Saturnian. There's high key and low key. Let's also think about the piano. The high keys, ding, 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 ding. The low key, ding, 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 ding. That's Saturn. The bass, the low, the dense, the lower frequency, the low, low, low key. Also, in the Bible, we get Moloch, who is without a doubt very Saturnian. Moloch, Loki, lock and key. That Moloch. Well, that's most.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go. You go ahead.
L and R are interchangeable, right? So Moloch can become Murrock.
No.
Mercury.
No.
A very badly placed Mercury. No. And then look at the Wikipedia you have pulled up, bro. It literally says Loki was impregnated by the stallion. So he literally turned into a chick and got impregnated. That is hermaphroditic in nature entirely.
Right.
So
now Saturn's symbol was also a serpent. So Mercury was sometimes a serpent. Saturn was also, and the world, whatever. Okay. Loki, sorry, man. Location. Saturn is the god of space and time. Loki is where we get words like location, local. That is Saturn. Saturn's wife is Rhea, area. So time and space. Saturn and his wife, Rhea, time, Chronos, space, Rhea, area, chronology, area and chronology. That's time and space. So Loki, I think it's pretty case closed, locked up, key and lock. It's all done, but maybe it is Mercury. There's a case to be made. I also got to say, what about Lucifer? What if it's just Libra? What if Loki's just Libra? Air sign like Mercury. Saturn exalts and Venus rules. Venus is Lucifer. Look and key. Look, Lucifer. I think it's very Saturnian. I'm overwhelmingly convinced of Saturn, but it could be Mercury, which many people think, right? I'd actually say, to throw you a bone, Merlin, I'd say more people online think that Loki is Mercury than Saturn. But hey,
I think it's got to be a malefically afflicted Mercury, whereas Odin is the benefically, gifted Mercury. Because
Right.
like it could be like how horrible like a Saturn Mercury conjunction could be, or a Saturn Mercury square opposition. Like again, like these aren't like horrible, life-ending things, but they do present challenges, especially a Saturn Mercury conjunction. That's a rough one for sure, and that is I would say very Loki-esque.
Right. Also, well, okay, whatever. We'll get to that later. So we went Germanic, Norse, talked about Anglo a little bit. Do you have Egyptian? Can we do Egyptian?
I don't have Egyptian. I got German. It's pretty much Finnish. I got the Hindu.
Let's do Egyptian real quick. That's all right. I got them written down, and we can just go one by one. The Egyptian gods are kind of hard to sort out. Number one, a lot of gods either have Horus or Ra attached to their name, which just makes it confusing. Then there's also Horus, Osiris, Set, which is kind of like their own pantheon in a way, kind of set aside a little bit. But I kind of tried to do my best. If we've got any Egyptian experts, please feel free to correct us in the comments. or the live chat. But the Egyptian pantheon, the moon. Let's go one by one. Khonsu. Khonsu.
Consummate.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Consummate. It's also very Cancer, consistent, consensual. That's just very Cancer coded. So I think this one's overwhelmingly, it's Khonsu is the moon. Cancer, right? Pretty much one for one with Cancer, Khonsu. And like he said, consummate. That's perfect. Very lunar, mother, wife coded. Constipation, consume, yeah. Consume, yep. All
Nice.
Cancer words too. But
Nice little crescent moon on the head there too.
yep, full moon and a crescent moon.
Yeah.
So Khonsu. That's great. Lunar goddess, Khons, Kensu. Okay. Now, what about Mercury? Well, Mercury is an easy one. Mercury is pretty case closed. Thoth. Thoth is the Egyptian god of thinking, education, teaching, learning, sciences a little bit, and writing, hieroglyphics, science, magic, all that. Thoth, we get words like thought, thoughtful, thought, right? Think. Some more words, thorough, right? You got some in common with Thor. There's nothing wrong with that. Thoughtful for sure, though. Your thoughts come out of your mind. That is Mercury. Someone's thoughts are going to be affected by how their Mercury is affected in the chart.
And it
Yeah.
says there in the Wikipedia page, it says he is the god of the moon. And a lot of times, guys, especially with Thoth, Hermes, Trismegistus, Mercury and the moon amalgamate into a singular deity sometimes because Mercury and the moon are the mind, right? The moon is the more emotional side, and Mercury is the more analytical and thought and airy,
Yeah.
controllable side of the brain. Go ahead.
And the Thoth moon connection has nothing to do with the moon being motherly or goddess or nourishing. It has to do with the measurements and the speed of the moon and the tracking and the practicality of the moon and how necessary it was in certain sciences or like baking or doing chemistry, right? You need to know the moon phases. That's where the moon comes in. So that's that's pretty misleading to say, god of the moon. No, if anything, god of the lunar calendar or lunar timekeeping, something like that. So,
speaking of moons, we got a beautiful half moon tonight, guys. Go check it out after the show.
Rob T R2D with the $5 says, "Glad I could do my part in furthering the people's awakening." Yeah, you did. Thanks, Rob.
God bless.
So Thoth, thought, you see that connection with odd. Oh, also Odin, odd. To be mercurial is to be weird, to be queer, right? Curious, Mercury, right? Very curious. You're an odd fellow, right? Odd person, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a little queer, right? A little weird, a little mercurial, like in between the genders, but also very inquisitive, right? Curious, odd, odd, Odin. So also Odin had, here's the case closed, guys. Odin had a raven, and the raven does talking. Raven is the parrot. Talking bird, speaking bird, communication. Odin is Hermes, Mercury, and Thoth too. Here's a good one. Thoth is a god of weather too. So the ibis is in Florida, we say the ibis knows the weather. The ibis is the bird that you can tell hurricanes especially from. That's why in Miami they have the Florida Miami Hurricanes. And they're the Hurricanes, but their mascot is the ibis. The ibis has I think it's the first or the last bird to move before a hurricane comes. So when you see the ibises, you know a hurricane's coming. And hurricane, you see words like hurry, hurricane, Hermes, Mercury, right? Running, quick. And then weather, right? Mercury's about being in between two things. Weather, when we say weather, it's like whether it's this or that. Weather or this or that, You're talking about the weather in the sky, you're talking about the temperature and that. But then you're talking about weather. That's two options, right? Going in between. So, also either, right? Ether, either this or that. Okay. Moving on. You have Venus. Who in Egyptian mythology is Venus? There's a couple. Could be Isis. There's probably Hathor. Oh fuck! Didn't mean to do that. Hathor. Major goddess in Egyptian mythology. Real quick, so you guys can see Hathor. Sky deity, the mother or consort of the sky god Horus. What else does she rule?
Sexuality, dance,
Beauty,
joy, love.
yeah, beauty, music, dance, joy, love, sexuality, maternal care. That's all Venus. So Hathor is Venus. Isis also, could be thrown in to the Venus conversation. But Hathor,
I thought Isis was clear cut moon.
nah, Khonsu. And I don't think Isis counts. Isis, Osiris, and I think Horus just straight up don't count. They're their own, like Trinity, if that makes sense. They're not like, how can we say this? It's like I don't know. I forget. It's like, I don't know, Hercules, kind of like Hercules doesn't fit into the gods necessarily, but still a myth, right? But so yeah, Osiris, Horus, and Isis, Osiris, and Horus, I don't think are involved. They're their own kind of trinity going on. So the sun could be Horus, but Ra is the sun god in Egypt.
That one's undeniable.
Yep. And the noonday sun. Why is that important? Ra. Why is that important? Because Ra is right ascendant. Ra, the highest point of the sun in the sky, where the sun makes a 90-degree angle from, surface of the earth. That's noon. That's right ascension, right angle, Ra. Isn't that interesting?
And that's astrologically the midheaven. And again, when the sun's up there, guys, that's the word noon is a mirror of the word on. It's on that way, it's on that way. Every way you look, the sun, the light in the sky is on when it's at high noon. And again, studying Jordan Maxwell, you know that On was the Egyptian city of light, aka Heliopolis. The Egyptian city of light used to be called On. So that's why when we turn a light switch, we turn it on. And then all goes to all this stuff.
Hell yeah. That's good. Ra. And then, Horus, horizon, Osiris, Osiris, and then Set, sunset. But Ra's right ascension, right up there, right angle. Moving on. Mars. Mars is Montu. Montu, god of war. Some people say, oh, Horus is Mars. I don't think so, because Horus is like 3 different gods. That's the thing with the Egyptian. That's the issue with the Egyptian pantheon, is they all claim they're all associated with too many gods, too many planets.
It's like they gave the sun different personalities at different time of the day. That's why you have, Horus is the
Right.
rising sun, Ra is the risen, the radiating sun, radiate, ray, and then Set is, like you said, the setting sun. So it's just 3 different personifications of the sun. And studying that, guys, will teach you about the houses and how you can really learn a lot from studying the houses in astrology, or more particularly the cardinal points specifically.
Yeah. So Mars is Montu. Let's see. Montu words. Mountain. Montu.
Mountain's cool because the tarot card associated with Mars is the tower. And there's a similarity between towers and mountains. You got to climb them both. And I'd say climbing a mountain and climbing a tower, if it's like for a battle, it could be very martial in nature. It's like conquering.
Yeah. Here, let's see what words. Let's see. Mantra. Montage.
You mount a horse when you go into battle. As an
Right.
anagram for Montu, mount right there. I kind of see taunt in there a little bit.
Mont. I'm trying to look up Mont words. There aren't that many good ones.
It is
But,
Egyptian.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty far off. Well, okay, whatever. Montu. Not a whole lot to say. Not a whole lot to say about Montu.
Well, what it
Not a
says
big not a big Montu guy personally, but
it says right there, he's the embodiment of the conquering vitality of the pharaoh. So Mars is all about conquering things. And I forgot who it was, but some guy was asked, like, why'd you climb Everest? And he said, because it was there. That's some Mars shit. That's some mountain shit. That's some Montu shit right there.
here's a good one. Jupiter is Amun. Interestingly, blue skin. Right? Remind you of anyone else? Krishna, maybe? Krishna with the blue skin, also a Jupiterian deity. But Amun, major ancient Egyptian deity. Blah, 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 blah.
And again, that goes back to Amen, which is, and Amen is an anagram for the name. So it's all about reference to God at the end of the day.
Transcendental, self-created creator deity, par excellence. Champion of the poor or troubled. Central to personal piety. So very Jupiterian. Most widely recorded of the Egyptian gods. Chief deity of the Egyptian empire. Right? Sounds like a Zeus, sounds like a Jupiter. And blue skin like Krishna. Interesting. So, Amun. Let's think about some Amun words. Amazing. Amount. Right? How much? What's the amount you're going to pay me? What else we got? Ammo, maybe money, right? Moon, money in there too. Ammunition, right? Storing my ammunition. What are some good ones?
Definitely amen.
Amen, of course. Yeah, to show reverence, to show, Amen.
Amen.
So that's Jupiter, without a doubt. And that one's a hard one. You know, people, it's crazy. There's no list out there. People don't make these lists of just the planets and all the pantheons because it's very hard to kind of sort out. Amongst, that's a good one. Amulet, that's a good one. Valuable. Immune, that's good. Look at these. Beautiful. Immune. Good stuff, guys. So, who else? Saturn.
And both the benefics guys, Venus and Jupiter, are associated with money because, well, they're benefic. That's why these things are called, they're champions of the poor. But also Jupiter and Venus both have to do a lot with Pisces, the sign Pisces. Venus exalts, Jupiter rules, and Pisces rules finance, money, money.
Ammon, amass, amalgamation. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, coming together, the mass. Yeah, that's exactly it. Jupiter is really the expansion and collection of mass. Yeah.
Now we're at Set, guys. Saturn in Egyptian mythology is Set. Sat, set. That's pretty interesting, right? You sat something down, you set something down. Pretty case closed. But Set, also known as Seth, okay? Saturn, Sat, Set, Seth, Seph, Sephiroth, Joseph, right? Father Joseph, Mother Mary. So Joseph, Maria, that's Saturn and Rhea, Kronos and Rhea, and the child. But okay, Set, Seth, god of deserts, storms, disorder, violence, foreigners. Ugh, not good stuff. Foreigners. Oh, not the foreigners. Desert, storms, disorder, violence. Not the foreigners. No.
I'll take storms.
Except for the Latina baddies. We'll take more of those. But just kidding.
He's not kidding.
So if they can speak English or listen to English, they can obey English. You don't have to speak English. Just obey English. Okay. Limpia. Mas rapido. Moving on.
And guys, when the sun sets or when the sun falls, who exalts? Who exalts when the sun falls? Saturn.
Right. The sun sets and Saturn rises. Saturn, his power increases when the sun sets. So set, yeah, like the sun is defeated. He's entombed. Moving on. Set. Here's a good one. So Uranus in Egyptian, shoo. When you are trying to shoo a fly away, you got to put your shoes on, right? Egyptian for Uranus. Janus. Isn't that interesting? Shoo. Got the feather in his hair. Emptiness, the one who rises up.
One of the 9 from the Enneagram, apparently, or the Ennead. That's interesting.
Holding up the sky. But okay. And then Pluto, interesting. 2 alternatives, either Anubis, which I think it probably is, because Anubis is the black dog of the underworld, or Osiris. Probably Anubis, though. Like I said, Osiris is kind of in his own class with Horus. and Isis. But I don't think they're planetary. But
Yeah.
that's most of the Egyptian pantheon. I think we just missed Neptune. Who's the Egyptian god of the ocean? Wajwer. Is that where we get the word water? Wajwer. Water. Wade. Water. Who knows? But okay. Whatever. That's the Egyptian pantheon. Now where should we go? We did the Roman, we did the Greek, we did the Germanic, the Norse, Egyptian. Let's talk about the Bible real quick. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to do all of these, but do you think you have a biblical pantheon?
It's right there, yeah. And I just want to touch this real quick because it's going to matter when we talk about these planets, guys. But each of the 5 planets are associated with a different scent. So Mercury is sight, Venus is touch, Mars rules taste, Jupiter rules smell, and Saturn rules hearing. So Saturn rules hearing because Saturn rules meditation. In order to meditate, you must have silence. You got to listen to the inner self. Jupiter's smelling. God loves a fragrant smell, right? Mars, you get a taste for blood. Venus, if someone's beautiful, guys, like you see this all the time, like even women do this, like if some like dude is like jacked and ripped, like women will grab at that dude, and men obviously do for women that are beautiful. And then Mercury, like going back to Odin with the eye patch, is all about sight. So here's the Hebrew angelic associations of the 7 planets. And you'll notice, guys, you got angel, and then every single one of these angel names, they all end with L because they are all of. They're not God, but they are of God. So they all end in L, just like electricity and stuff like that. So which one do you want to start with, bro? Because I got Wikipedia pages pulled up for all these.
Yeah. Let's talk about some Bible characters, then we'll get to the angels.
Michael defeats Satan.
These ones aren't too well thought out on my part, but there are some undeniable links. So Satan is Saturn. That's pretty case closed. It's pretty obvious. Satan is Saturn. It's where we get the word Saturday, Sabbato, Sabbath, Shabbat. The word bad comes from Shabbat, Sabbath. The word bath. Remember we talked. The Saturday was called Wash Day in Celtic or some other Germanic, maybe the Norse, I forget. But bath, bad. So Saturn is Satan. That's pretty obvious. But also we brought up Moloch earlier. Moloch, real quick. Moloch or Molech. A word which appears in the Hebrew Bible several times, primarily in Leviticus. Yeah, so like we were saying, Moloch, lock and key, like we said with Loki, but also mole. Mole means dark, right? I think. And then mole is like a blemish or like a dark, like a imperfection. Saturn rules imperfections and scars, marks, stains, blotches. And that's kind of what a mole is. It's a mole lock, right? Yeah. What else?
Yeah, I would view him as...
Moloch is a bull because remember, we're kind of talking about the age of Taurus here. So it's Saturn in the age of Taurus. Just like ball and bowl is kind of similar. But Molech, you also get words like Molech and Malek, or Malachi later, right? Meaning, I think, Lord. Malice. You also get words like malice from this. Malefic, same thing.
Yep.
Bad, mal, mole. Who knows? The mall. Maybe you go to the mall to be a slave. Sacrifice. I don't know. Molecule. Boom. Very good. Very good. Good comment there. Oh yeah, MLK, Moloch. I always say that. Malik. Got some phoneticists out there. Hell yeah. Mow, yeah. To raise, to mow the lawn, the scythe. To raise the lawn, right? Mow. That's a good one. Good job, guys. Yeah, guacamole, same thing. Molasses, could be. Slow, it's very slow and addictive, right? Molest, yep, 100%. That's Molech, all right. So there you go. That's Moloch, Saturn showing up with another name, another mask in the Bible. And this is the god of human sacrifice, child sacrifice. Saturn loves that stuff. So, Jupiter, Zeus, people don't like to say this. Not everyone likes to hear it, but there's undeniable parallels. Jesus and Zeus. Hey, Zeus. Jupiter, Zeus. 12 Olympians, right? Jupiter or Zeus with their 12 gods, Mount Olympus. Jesus with his 12 disciples on Mount Olive, right?
Yeah.
Crown of thorns, right? Do olive. Go ahead.
That crown of thorns is indicative of the sun, guys. Like the sun, the rays of the sun poke out like thorns.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a good one. Moloch is milk. Missing kids on milk cartons. Yeah.
That's dark.
Yeah. Milk. Molech. So Zeus, hey Zeus, Dios, Jove, also Jove, right? You get words like love, joviality. Job was kind of a bit of a Jupiterian story in some ways. Might seem like tragedy and this and that, but the abundance mindset, looking at the bright side, never giving up, always keeping faith, being selected or kind of having a point made of you because you're too good, right? Or like such a good person that people try and test. All very Jupiterian, right? And so you see words like jovial, the sun, Mars. I don't know if we really see them in the Bible too much, but Venus, the morning and evening star.
Cool. You don't see the sun in the Bible too much?
I mean, what?
I mean,
like Jesus?
Yes.
I think it's weak. The sun, that's like zeitgeist stuff, but I think Jesus is more Jupiter. He's the father and the son at the same time. Jupiter, father, son. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think just like King Arthur, it's like an amalgamation of those two. Like even the word Arthur, it's Ra, A-R is Ra, and then Thor with his 12 Knights of the Round Table. So I think they're both a combination of Jupiter and the sun. The two greatest things that are in the sky created by God.
Yeah, you could also say hey or he Zeus, like halo or he low Helios. Hey, he Zeus, but hey, maybe father and the son at the same time. You could say Saturn's the father, you could say Jupiter's the father, and the sun is the son. But you can split it a bunch of different ways. Jesus is associated with Jupiter. We'll just leave it at that. We're never trying to reduce Jesus and say, oh, he's just a planet.
Right.
No. Just the opposite. Other way around. Let's say there was a time when, if Satan has a beacon in the planet Saturn, Jesus also has a beacon in the planet Jupiter. Not saying that's all he is. He has a light, a night light, a little memento, right there for us to see all the time, especially at night. So Jupiter, Jesus, Peter too, the first pope. Not really, not actually the first pope, but as they say, Peter. So Jupiter. Then also, here's two good ones. Venus is Lucifer, hands down. Maybe it's Libra, the zodiac sign, but as a planet, Venus is Lucifer.
I got a slide for that, bro.
You got a slide?
Yeah, deep.
All right.
And we can bring in some astrology gravy too with it.
Let's hit it.
Yeah. So yeah, Venus is.
Can I go buy a water across the street?
Yeah.
You take over for a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, Venus and Lucifer are not the same thing. Are they closely associated? Absolutely, they are. But Venus is Lucifer specifically when she rises before the sun in the morning. So again, that's why you hear, Lucifer's sun in the morning. It's not about the sun. It's about it being a false light. So like Venus, guys, is the third brightest celestial body. You got the sun is the brightest, obviously, then the moon, and then Venus is the next brightest star, wandering planet, heavenly body, whatever you want to call it. Venus can cast a shadow. So Venus is called Lucifer when she rises before the sun. But so like you'll see a light in the sky and you go, oh my gosh, is that the sunrise? Oh no, it's not. It's Venus. That's why she is the false light, aka the false sunrise. And then some specifically astrological terms, guys, is you have Venus matutine. What that means is that Venus has finished retrogressing and she is rising before the sun because she's further west than the sun. And then Venus vespertine is when Venus sets after the sun, when Venus is further east from the sun. So like to show you what that looks like on a chart real quick. Like let's say the sun is over here in Taurus at 15 degrees, right? So the sun's at 15 degrees Taurus and Venus retrogressed 47 degrees away. Venus would be somewhere over here in like early Pisces. That'd be Venus and that'd be Lucifer. That'd be Lucifer. That's Venus rising before the sun. You would see a very bright star and people would go, oh, wow, that star. And obviously you wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, is that the sun? But that's what it is. It's like how Lucifer or Venus could have so much arrogance to shine so brightly to be like, wow, it's that bright. Is that a false sunrise? Oh, no, it's not. Venus only goes 47 degrees. It's like 47.3 degrees away from the sun at most on either side. So like, yeah, when Venus retrogresses, she'll retrogress 47 degrees away from the sun. And then, over time, like, right, so Pisces is before Taurus in the zodiac. So then over time, Venus will move faster than the sun after retrogressing and eventually end up 47 degrees on the other side of the sun. Obviously, the sun won't be in Taurus. When Venus does that, it'll be somewhere over in, I think, Capricorn, if I had to guess. It's like a 240 day cycle for the Venus retrogression pattern. But yeah, so that's Venus retrogressing all in all. And then guys, like Venus retrogresses for exactly 40 days and women are pregnant for 40 weeks. So like the number 4, if you hear the number 40, you should immediately think Venus. And then yeah, Venus goes 47 days and that's just like 40 plus a 7. That's all very, very, good numbers right there. So yeah. And yeah, what Longo was saying earlier with the angel stuff that I brought up, I mean, it's definitely like the weakest stuff we got to cook with. But this did come from Thomas H. Burgoyne, but we won't talk about that tonight. But understanding, guys, like the 5 sense associations with the planet, I think is very, very, very valuable. Knowing what each planet rules as far as senses go is just good to know for your astrological knowledge. And Longo and I are going to get into tarot cards or talk about tarot symbolism of the planets, but probably not tonight. Probably going to wind down. So he wants to end around like 11 o'clock usually, so we'll be winding down soon. But I hope that was the Venus retrogression patterns explained. So yeah, guys, like Longo was saying, Venus, or rather Lucifer and Satan get mixed up a lot because they both are associated with Libra. Venus rules Libra, obviously, and then Saturn exalts there. And that's also the fall. So, like, it's like blaming Eve. It's like calling Eve Satan because Venus is Eve, Mars is Adam. And again, like, if you went to the Bible, that's what you would see for, like, Mars. It'd be Adam, I would say. And then Venus is definitely Eve. And if you understand the retrogression patterns of Venus, you know that she conjoins Saturn every 3 sextile or every 3 retrogressions. So like it's all there, guys. But yeah, like the mix up on Lucifer and Satan is because of the sign Libra, where the fall is. Satan tempts Eve, and then she eats the apple, sees that she's naked, and it's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's all about Libra and the fall that happens after that. So, and yeah, dude, that's a great comment. Jesus fasted for 40 days. That's another ode to Venus, and just again, a benefic planet. So that's just Jesus doing something benefic as he always does. Yeah, Merlin, the hat looks fire. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Hope I'm not running out of steam, but I don't know what he wanted to talk about next. But this is just dope art, guys. This is Michael defeating the Archangel Michael defeating Satan. This is just a biblical depiction of that. Pretty fucking cool. 40 appears over 140 times in the Bible. Does it really? And is a symbol of great/lasting change. Bro, if that's true, can someone double check me? Does Saturn retrogress for 140 days? I'm pretty sure it does. So I think it's either 140 or 180 for Saturn, but I want to say 140. Yo, welcome back, Longo.
Hey, sorry I got caught up. The guy working at the quick like smoke shop across the street. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, you're open late, like what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, we're talking about astrology." He's like, "No way, I love astrology." And he's Indian, like very Indian.
Oh, okay.
They love astrology, so we were chatting about astrology. I showed him the channel, so now he's going to be watching.
Dope. What's up?
Yeah, his name was Truvro, something like that.
He's a true bro.
Yeah, shout out, true bro. But all right, so yeah, we talked about the Bible a little bit. Did you get to talk about your angels?
No, I mean, I just that's another day. That's all good. But that came from
Okay.
Thomas H. Burgoyne. But that's all
For
good.
sure. Yeah, we'll get to the angels another time. We're already running low on time. But so what other pantheons do you have? I've got some lists.
That's all I had. I mean, that was pretty much everything. And then I've got the tarot cards associated with the planets. But we could do tarot a whole other day, a whole other podcast.
Yeah. So let's do this. How about could you hop on the Wikipedia real quick
Yeah, what you want?
and just kind of search them up as I call them out?
I got you.
Thank you. And guys, we're gonna have to keep it on the eastern side of the Atlantic today, because we're already at almost 2 hours. But we did the Roman, we did the Greek, we did the Egyptian, we did the Germanic, Norse, and we did a little bit of Bible. Oh, here's one. Mercury in the Bible. Enoch. Enoch, the only person to be raised, I think, I could be wrong, raised from, he didn't die. He was brought straight up to heaven or to walk with God. Like Mercury, walking with the gods, elevated from the status of man to God, or demigod to full God, right? He's in between man and God. Now, Enoch also has to do a lot with learning and counting and timekeeping, record keeping, and the calendar that the god that God or the angels decreed, preferred, would come to be known as the Enochian calendar. The Enochian calendar. Enoch. Now, let's see. Knock, remember din, knock, right? Knock on the door, right? Who knows? But Enoch might have something in common with Thoth and Hermes and, Enochian, right? When you say Enochian, it's almost like bringing to mind like Hermetic, right? Enochian, Hermetic. But also, when we talk about Enochian, you're talking about like the alphabet in Enochian, right? So writing language, an original language. And remember how Thoth was kind of misleadingly associated with the moon? Well, who's also associated with the moon? The Enochian calendar, which is 364 days. People say it's the lunar calendar. It's not true. It's not the lunar calendar. It's not even lunisolar. It's 364. It's the Enochian calendar. So who knows? I think there's some good evidence to show a little mercurial nature with Enoch and the learning and teaching and some of that.
Yeah,
But,
and just because like it's about being granted knowledge, just like Hermes Trismegistus was allegedly granted knowledge from the gods, Enoch was as well. And like you were saying, it's that connection between heaven and earth that Hermes, the fleet-footed messenger of the gods, went between.
Did I say 364 years? I meant to say 365 years. The 364 comes from the Enochian calendar. So 364 days, but yes, 365 years. But maybe you could read it like this. If you are in your 365th year, are you 364 or 365? Right? Like right now, I'm in my 30th year, but I'm 29. Right?
Dude, there's this concept. It's like the rule of Kell or something, where it's like if a number is off by one and you're working with the Kabbalah, it's the same number because the one can come and go as it pleases. So 364 and 365 are essentially the same exact number when you're talking about like esoteric gravy, essentially. It's something, man. If someone in chat can please correct me on that, but it's something. The rule of, I think it's a K. It sounds like Cal or something. But yeah, like the one can come or go.
Yeah. Rob T with another $5 said, drinking out of plastic Longo. Come to Arkansas. I'll take you to an artesian spring oasis. It'll make your magic wand erect. Jeez. What do you want me to do with that?
Drinking out of.
I usually try not to drink out of plastic, but when I'm at work and the place next door only sells Zephyr Hills, whatever, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Thank you for the concern, though. All right. Biblical mythology. We talked about as much as we can. Let's spice it up a little bit. Irish mythology. Or Celtic. Or let's do Hindu. You had the Hindu, didn't you? You had the Hindu pantheon.
Yeah. Let me go to it real quick.
Yeah, let's do Hindu. So the Hindu pantheon, and yes, this lines up with what I got. Perfect. The moon is known as Chandra. Chandra. Now, isn't that interesting? Also very close to Cancer. Right?
Yeah.
You see that?
Chan, yeah.
Yep. Chandra.
Can do.
Sandra. One sec. This is Chandra. Shining or moon, also known as Soma, Hindu god of the moon. It is associated with the night, plants and vegetation. Oh, he. It's a he. That tells you how much I know about my Hindu pantheon. Thought it was a she, just misgendered, just mischandrad, Chandra.
You fucking bigot.
But so Chandra's a dude, one of the 9 planets of Hinduism. Interestingly,
Huh.
now Mercury. Let's go back over here.
Buddha.
Yep, Buddha. Let's go over here. Buddha with 1 D is the Sanskrit word for the planet Mercury, personified as a god. Also a god who represented intelligence. He is also known as Samaya or Rohinaya and rules over the nakshatras, lunar mansions. Interesting. Another Mercury-Moon connection, right?
Yeah.
Enoch Kshatras. Enoch Shatra, Nakshatra, who knows? But Buddha with 1 D means Mercury. Interesting. Buddy, right? You got a buddy that's like your friend, your bro, your Hermes, right? Your Hermano. And let's go back to your list.
And what's interesting, another connection there too, is he was like the page just had up like he was Soma Ya or something like that as an alternate name for Buddha Mercury, and then Monday or Moon Day is Soma Vara. So like there's a Soma connection between those 2 planets. Very interesting.
Venus in the Hindu pantheon is Shukra. Shukra. Interesting because how close is that to sugar? Sucrose, Sukra, Sukra, Azukar, Shukra. Interesting. Sanskrit word that means clear or bright is also has other meanings.
And Venus is the brightest non-luminary. It's always important to know.
Right. So yeah, Venus is sweet. Sweet like honey. So Shukar or Shukra, interesting. That's Venus. Go back over here. The sun is Surya. Surya. That's Surya. Pretty bored. I'm pretty bored of Surya, if you guys ask me. Honestly, let's move on.
That might be where they get the word "sar" from, though, because that's also sire. So sar,
Surya.
yeah.
Sorry. Oh, here's a good one. Sorry. When you say sorry or sorry, what are you doing, Merlin? How do you say it? What are you doing? What's that act? You are. If I'm saying sorry, I'm what?
Sorry, I am like showing repentance.
Okay, which is what do most people call that? You're asking forgiveness of someone. You're doing what?
Mercy.
Yeah.
You're doing.
So, come on.
I'm not getting it. Hold on.
What's the main word if you're saying sorry to someone?
Apologize.
Apollo.
Hey, okay.
Apollo. Surya, sorry. Apollo, apologize. Interesting. You see that sun connection. Apollo Jize. I've thought about this before. What if it's Apollo's guise? Like you're hiding the sun, or like the light's being hidden or something like that. I don't know. Apologize has the word Apollo in it. Surya has the word sorry in it. Suri. I'm very sorry. Apologizing.
Huh.
So,
That's interesting too, because like maybe you shouldn't like I over apologize a lot. Maybe like you really shouldn't apologize, because like if you are truly of like we are created by God, everything happens for a reason. What do we really have to be like? We should forgive others. We should forgive ourselves too, and not apologize, right? So I like that whole guise of Apollo connection. That's pretty good.
yeah. Apollo jizz.
Oh, jeez.
Apollo jizz. Apollo jizz. A pile of jizz. Okay. A pool of jizz.
Oh no.
All right, guys. we're right.
It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah. So we went through the Hindu ones. Okay, and Mars, Mangala. If you're mangled, Mangala, you're mangled. That's Mars. That is all about Mars.
It's got man in there. Mars is very manly, masculine.
Yep, mangina. There's nothing more masculine than good old mangina. But yeah. So mangled, Dr. Mangala. Shout out Dr. Mangala.
Don't shout out Dr. Mangala, bro.
Shout out my boy. But he was mangling some, the Mandela effect. Nah. I don't fuck with the Mandela effect. That shit's gay. I fuck with the Mangala effect. Yeah. Dr. Wolfenstein. What do they call it? Wolfenstein?
Yeah.
I'm on that Mangala theory. But okay. So Mangala is the Hindu Mars. Interesting. We got words like mangled from there. And then Jupiter, Guru, also known as Brihaspati, is Guru. And this is one that I like to talk about this a little bit. Guru is not just teacher. Jupiter is the teacher, the wisdom, wise philosopher. That's Jupiter, totally. But Guru, it doesn't just mean teacher. Guru means strong. It can mean bully. One of my favorite guru quotes from one of my favorite gurus is Guru is the art of bully. Guru is the art of bully. The art of the bully, right? To be a guru is to be a bully. Bullies are teaching. Not always, ideally, right? Ideally, they're teaching and they're course correcting, right?
Yeah.
They're preventing school shooters. They're preventing suicides. They're preventing this. We're always shown it the other way around, where the bully is causing the suicides or causing the school shooters. No. We need real bullies, real strong, masculine, mainstream bullies that just keep the flock together. Okay, no outliers. You want to be an outlier? Okay, get out of school. Don't come to school. You're in school. You're with the crowd. You're with everyone. Don't be antisocial. Don't be a dweeb. Don't be a loser. Don't be gay. Okay, you'll be fine. It's not about crushing individuality. Okay, it's about not getting singled out. Not being the weak, sick, slow fish. That fish gets eaten by the sharks. Okay? You want to be with the crowd. This is mind-blowing. People are always like, I always felt like a black sheep. All this new age garbage is like, you need to go your own path. You need to go do this. Go find you. Go be as individual as you can be. No. People. Tradition is what feels good. Your origins is what's rewarding, right? And I don't know, you can be your own person, whatever. But the bully, what I'm trying to get at is the bully keeps the collective a collective. It keeps the group having a healthy herd identity, right? It prevents the ego, the false sense of self, like, ooh, I'm the special one. I'm the one who doesn't like to play soccer. No, just fucking play soccer with everyone else. Get over it. Get over yourself. Do you guys see where I'm coming from with this, right? Am I making any sense, Merlin?
Yeah, bro. It's about there's a time and a place. Like you can be your own person, be an individual, but like when you're with a group of people, you should want to get along with people, and part of that is like not rocking the boat too much. If you're on a boat with other people, you can't fuck up the boat too much, or else the boat might tip over. So it's like, yo, sit the fuck down, chill, and we're gonna roll this fucker together. And then when we feel our own ways, then you could be your own whatever you want to be or whatever. So it's about like there's a time and a place, and like you said, like bullying can be very healthy, but it has to be tempered. Don't be like a cruel, like don't be too martial, don't be too malefic. It's about the Goldilocks amount, just enough, and that's what it's all about, And like you were saying, the school, a school of fish, they're in harmony with the ether, with each other, and they flow just like a flock of birds, very, very similar. So yeah, it's about blending in when you're supposed to, and then be an individual in your private life, or where appropriate. And again, we're saying blend in. We're two fucking astrologers, so it's like we understand what it's like to be different, but like have different interests, but we can also fucking jive with people and get along with people, because it's about not being a fucking freak, essentially.
Right. And you tell me who's more individual, who's more unique. The people with the green hair and the blue hair and I'm so unique, I'm one in a million. Blue hair, green hair, piercings, hot topic. You name it. Cookie cutter, pulled off the shelf. There's like 5 hair dyes to choose from. You're cookie cutter. You are by trying to be extremely unique and individual, you always just end up with a blank slate, wiped clean, empty slate of a human. The more you try and strip away tradition or your origins or what actually made you, like your family, your neighborhood, where you come from, you get a blank slate of a programmable, unfuckable loser. Okay, you've got all these like blue-haired freaks who should have been bullied more. Sorry, guys. Today we have cyberbullying. That like always ends badly. The real bullies were honest. And honestly, that bully in gym class would have loved nothing more than for you, who's, weak or losing, not succeeding. That bully would have loved nothing more, a real bully, would have loved nothing more than for you to come in the next week and be the strongest, fittest, most successful kid in class. They'd shut up and choose someone else, or fight back, whatever, fight back, overcome the bully, whatever. You don't get that with Instagram and the Twitter and this and that. You only get the mind games and the dishonesty that can come along with bullying. So physicality is honest. They say it's the lowest form of communication. It's also the most honest form of communication. And there is kind of a stage of physical honesty that you need to learn as a kid. I don't know. Bullies have a place. I've been a bully. I've been bullied. But I understand the truth in this. And shout out to Sam Hyde. Who's ever seen the $1 Million Extreme sketch about bullies? It's phenomenal. It's hilarious. It's about this. It's about bullies being like a necessary function in schools, especially, and about how when the war against bullying started, school shootings skyrocketed. When they started targeting bullies or jocks or like average, turning jocks into bullies and we're talking about the general conventional bully here. We're not talking about the guy who's already turned into like a school shooter loser. We're talking about the jock who's tall, strong, healthy, fit. And when he sees a little like weaselly, rotten, bad breath kid who is afraid to talk to girls, he kind of slaps him around and says, "What are you doing? Stop being a loser. Do it like this. Maybe a little uplifting in there. I wish we had real bullies like this, today, but they're almost extinct.
Yeah, it's a culture of non-bullying now. You got a super chat from Rob.
Rob TR2D with another $10. All my life, I've lived by a code. Honor the gods, love your woman, use but don't follow the herd, and burn your enemies alive. Dude, Sam Hyde is a legend. Yeah. Go check out the $1 Million Extreme Bully skit if you guys haven't already. But yeah, exactly. Don't be fat. Don't want to be bullied. Don't be fat. Don't be ugly.
Don't be ugly is fucking excellent advice.
Yeah. And you can do something about that, guys, by the way. But okay, so guru is how we say Jupiter in the Hindu pantheon. And guru means a couple things. It means strong or big. Guru means teacher. Right? Mentor, guide, expert, master.
And there's a lot of wisdom out there, guys, that points to like it's a good idea to find a guru, like be your own person, trust yourself, but like find people to learn from that you trust.
Yeah.
Like it's very important. Like a lot of books say find a guru, and like these aren't shit books. These are like legitimately good books.
And just real quick here, as a noun, the word means the imparter of knowledge. As an adjective, it means heavy or weighty, right? You see it's bull, like heavy, like dense, bully, kind of, get out of my way, right? A lot of mass. Heavy with knowledge or heavy with spiritual wisdom. Yeah. Okay. And the last one is Shani or Shane. Shani. Interesting there. With Shani, divine personification of the planet Saturn in Hinduism, one of the 9 heavenly objects. Shani is also a male Hindu deity, figure with a dark complexion, carrying a sword or scepter, sitting on a buffalo or sometimes a crow, god of karma, justice, time, retribution. Yeah. Controller of longevity, misery, sorrow, old age, discipline, restriction, responsibility, delays, ambition, blah, 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 blah. So Shani, from the word Shani, what words do you think we get? Shame, maybe a little bit, right? Shame with an M.
Yeah, shamey.
Shanty.
Saturn does rule the poor. That's true. Living in a
Right.
shanty shack.
Shanty. Shant. Like not allowed to, who knows? Shun. Very Saturnian. Shun. Shiny. Maybe, yeah. But okay.
The middle
is-
3 letters backwards is Na.
That's the Hindu pantheon. What else? Anything you want to say? I mean, that's most of them. We're gonna have to do another one, and we'll do the West of the Atlantic. We'll do like the American, as much of the American as we
Okay.
can get.
Yeah, people were asking for Aztec and Maya and stuff.
Yep, we just don't have time. Aztec, Maya, Inca. Try and do some Florida tribes. Maybe we'll have Chief Chacon
Yeah.
on. Maybe we'll have Chief Chacon on. Maybe he can help us with that. But all right, guys, that's most of them. Hope you got something good out of that. Planets and mythology, we kind of showed how the principal deities of every world mythology or pantheon are pretty much mostly the planets of astrology, visible and non-visible sometimes. So, yeah, Merlin, closing thoughts?
It was a good stream, man. You know, these patterns repeat because it's true, you know, and it's all God put it there. He put it there for us to study. You know, someone in chat was like shitting on Jupiter, and it's like, bro, like God put it there. You know what I mean? The devil didn't create astrology. The devil didn't create the stars. God did. So it's all about reference to God, the benevolent creator.
Yeah. Totally. Well, all right, guys. I think that's it. Go check out. Here, let's do this. Go check out Wise Wizard Merlin. Hang on.
We got some new videos coming on the pipeline.
All right, guys, go subscribe to Wise Wizard Merlin with a Z. Wise with a Z, Wizard Merlin. Go give him a subscription. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of good astrology content. More to come. Also, go check out the Dr. Marco Longo channel. Make sure you subscribe to this if you haven't already. That's my second channel. It's mostly for non-Florida stuff. But make sure to subscribe to this if you haven't already. I'll drop a link in the chat. Here we'll go. Here's the link for Merlin. And
Yo, he is a doctor. Longo has a fucking PhD in mathematics, guys. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
no, I am an actual medical doctor, by the way. I've been your mom's gynecologist for years now.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Who was that who's talking ish in the...
It's all it's up there in chat. Patrick R. Taylor. I'll name and shame.
Yeah. If I'm not a real doctor, then your mom's going to have to find a new gynecologist, okay? Sorry. Get wrecked. That's it. All right, guys. We'll see you next Saturday. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good week, everybody.
Everyone have a good night. Here I got some good.
Go look at the moon. We got a good half moon. It's going to set soon.
Peace.